Hello guys, I'm going to go ahead and make just another little video based on toss. Ignore the little lag happening by Princess. We're just going to go ahead and basically examine one of the most standard openers by Protoss that there can be right now, and that is just a simple forge fast expand into gateway push, and you'll see exactly how I'm going to go ahead and execute. I'm just going to talk briefly about how you can go ahead play and approach games as a Protoss user. Right now this is just me playing it up against a friend. It's basically, you can consider Masters level, Masters Protoss, and doesn't really, in the moment, he's high diamond, paired up against Masters. But you can see that I'm just going to go ahead and plop down that pylon into space. That's going to allow me to get the forge one spot next to the ramp to basically have a full wall off on that side. You'll notice that pretty much your building placement when you forge fast expand is key. Also, knowing if you can get away with a hatchery, a nexus first, or having to get the forge first is a pretty key thing. If you don't scout your opponent first, you're going to want to go ahead and at the very least get the forge down just in case of early ling aggression or something from the zerg. So right now you can see I get lucky. I scout him the first time, and I'm immediately going to see that there is absolutely no, there's not a single bit of pool or anything down. So I'm basically feeling good from the aggression. However, I also saw him go for that gas, which means I'm going to throw down the forge. I could theoretically get the hatchery first, but I don't want to risk it, not with these positions, but you can see exactly how the forge is going to fit. So I'm going for a 15 forge, I think around a 17 nexus, and then get my wall off, then go for the, my gases, and gateways, all that, and you'll see my building placement is pretty solid in terms of just being able to defend things. I'm also going back and forth, constantly checking the main and its natural expansion, make sure that no other bases go down, and you can watch them to go ahead and actually work on getting my nexus out next, because I want to play as economically as possible. So when you're just when you're approaching games as Protoss, you want to think scouting. Protoss is a very good reactive race, and you have a very good, just a few normal awesome units that are pretty universal. Which makes it sound odd that I'm saying reactive race, but the reason Protoss is such a good reactive race is the scouting that Protoss has at as its race fingertips. You've got hallucinations and you've got observers. Early game, you can just run around with a probe and try and use that probe to go ahead and do that scouting. To be honest, there's not much else that can really be done for us early game, but there are a few things you can sort of get out. One of them is utilizing your probes to scout. The other thing is early zealot pressure or early soccer pressure, or one or the other, to really make sure that you can see what your opponent's doing, because you want to know, oh, I have to get Robo up instantaneously because there's going to be some crazy kind of aggression coming in with something, I don't know. The whole point is to be stable, because a forge fast expand is kind of hard to defend early game sometimes. So you can see that I'm going to go ahead and actually work on doing as much as I can, and actually just, so I just misclicked and boxed my probe that's actually going to go build the assimilator. It's a little misclick. But take a look at my building placement. I'm pretty stable in my wall off. I've got my beefier buildings in the front. Pylons can be rebuilt. I've got 2 cannons so that there's nothing that zerglings can run by to go ahead and deal damage. I've got the one assimilator down now. I should have had 2, but I misclicked, so that's nothing to worry about. Usually you do double gas yourself. But my cybernetic core is going down. I've got a gateway up. I'm going to go ahead and actually get 2 zealots. This is how I'm going to go ahead and scout this early game. I'm going to go for 2 zealots and utilize them to put a little bit of pressure on Zerg, but mostly see his front base and what units he's going for. If it's going to be roaches or if it's going to be just straight up zerglings, and see if I can do any damage with it. So you can see how I'm doing that. I am going for 2 zealots, even though my core is up, because I'm trying to get up my tech behind this, and this isn't exactly meant to do a lot of damage. It's meant to scout him and see really what is going on. So right now I'm just continuing to probe up. Because he went for a speedling opener, I know that he's pretty much not going to be able to have a lot of... He's not going to be able to have a lot of economy right now. It can get... He'll be able to get it in a couple of minutes, but not instantaneously. He has a very nice opportunity to go for a lot of early pressure at the moment, so that's what I'm trying to watch out for. My zealots will be able to scout his army composition, his ling count, and pretty much give me a good idea of what I can get away with in terms of my build. You can see how I'm going for a very fast +1. Upgrades are very important against Zerg, and you can see that as I'm going across the map, my zealots aren't exactly encountering much much difficulty in moving about. So you can see how I'm going to go ahead and keep going back to them, though, trying to control them really efficiently. And unfortunately, I just need one more hit off both of those guys to take them out. But now is when I get to do a little bit of pressure against them, put the opponent off guard. And take a look at the amount of lings I'm forcing right now. I'm not worried about doing too much damage. It's not my #1 priority. You can see how I'm forcing a spawn crawler. Moving forward, I've got the stalker out, but the problem is that he actually had speed up because he went for that speedling opener. That was a little bit of a blunder of mine to get that stalker out and try and do things. You see how it's accomplishing literally nothing. That's a free unit for him. I'm sure he's thankful for that. But now what I've seen is I've forced a lot of lings. I feel really good about this, and because I'm forcing lings, I didn't see any roaches, and I did see a spawn crawler too. I'm thinking, okay, large gateway push. I'll have the +1, and I'll get a robo just in case of burrow. I'm literally not going to use it for anything else. But did you see that massive amount of lings that just poked my front? That's kind of scary. No, I really have only one gateway right now to produce attacking units. So I'm going to go for a little bit more of a sim city in my front to go ahead and block it off. You'll see I will get that up, and that is my thought process in what I'm doing so far. Plus, I need to make sure that he can't scout me and see those gates. So now here you're going to see me continuing this wall off, and it's going to be a complete wall off because I don't want lings coming. He's pure ling right now, and I really want him to stay that way and not be able to press the front. Plus, I just need a little bit of time to get up my infrastructure. So you can see how I'm getting out all these gates. I'll be able to start massing up my army. I've got the +1 attack, and I'm just right now going for a whole lot of sentries. They are the backbone of the early game Protoss, and pretty much they're the main spellcaster until you can get High Templar out. There's pretty much nothing else that can kill mass armies except for good forces usage in conjunction with range DPS or sometimes even just Zealot DPS, depending on what your army composition is favoring. Right now you can see I'm mainly going to be going for Sentry Zealot with, or just Zealot Sentry with some Stalkers in there. Notice I'm building a lot of pylons. It's because when you're doing a large gateway attack like this, getting pylon blocked or supply blocked is horrible, and it really hurts your power. Just with your firepower and what you're able to accomplish. So right now I'm getting out some more units, and I'm going to go ahead and start pushing. And unfortunately, he's going to come in with some lings immediately at the wrong time to catch 3 of my guys off guard. So those are once again basically 3 free kills for him. That's just bad luck on my part, but nothing else is wrong. Notice I'm getting out more upgrades, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in probe as well to get pylons out so I can warp in immediately to reinforce. That's pretty much my plan right now. Also, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a dual-pronged attack. You can see that I'm going to go ahead and actually throw down pylons so I can warp into his high ground and attack the front at the same time, trying to diverge his units. I'm also re-walling off once again, and I'm also going to block off all those lings. It's sort of just a show of force at this point. I've got a lot of sentries out, so I can do a whole lot of force fields, and this is me setting up to both reinforce my army and just have a whole lot of surprise attacks inside his main base. Notice I'm also still bringing in zealots and sentries, because I've only seen real lings so far, but I also researched hallucination. So watch what I'm going to do. Now I see that he's got roaches, and that's kind of annoying for me because I just spent all that money getting those zealots, but take a look at that. Warp in the high ground, send it to the mineral line, and poke the front with these units, and it can be really annoying for a Zerg to deal with something like this. You can see now he's going to the main base. If I was able to time it perfectly, I would be force-fielding the ramp right now. The problem is that my sentry is a little bit far behind, and he already gets most of his army down there. But notice I can just re-go again inside his main, force-field behind all of his roaches, make sure that my zealots can do a whole lot of damage, because they have the +1 attack, and that is very, very powerful. The problem is now, though, that he's got a whole lot of roaches. Like, he did not join up too much. This is kind of a good thing to see with this push. That's the main thing I'm accomplishing at the moment, is seeing, oh god, he's got a whole lot of army, and I really have to be careful about this. So I'm going to be very bad position right now, because as you can see, this was a pretty large push, but there are ways to recover. One of the powers of Toss and the really good advantages of Toss is the fact that you can sit back, turtle, and get up to a larger army with some good tech, and you'll be in a good position. So right now, you notice I tried to get the third, but he just pooped creep on there. That's really annoying tactic to delay, and it actually really hurt me in this situation because I'm kind of invested a lot in that attack and want to get an economy up instantaneously, but unfortunately I have to wait for that to go because there's no other real places that I can actually expand to. Notice I have the +1/+1 attack and defense upgrades though, and that's pretty important at the moment. I'm also getting out Robotech to get out Colossi, because Colossi are a very good unit to come in and surprise with. And he's going again, and I will just force field some more to go ahead and make sure that I can really actually utilize this superior position that I have, because this is going to be a key thing. I have to be economic with my force fields in order to actually make this a worthwhile defense for me, and hopefully have him spend too much in trying to get me to lose in this bad position that I'm in. Now we're just waiting for that creep to go away so I can get this down. Okay. But you saw the sort of how that the beginning's plan sort of worked out for me with that gateway attack. It's a strong attack, and he really had to focus on getting a lot of units in conjunction with that. Also, I saw reinforcements coming in from the middle left, which means he probably has his third base completely up and running, and that's something I kind of have to be aware of. So you notice that I'm going to go ahead and wall off this front, just because I need to have a good defensive position, because that's a vulnerability for him to be able to dual prong attack me, hitting my main and my third, or my natural and my third, both at the same times. And I am getting out a second Robo. I'll be going 2 Robo Colossus and getting out more upgrades. At the moment, I'm just thinking be safe, because this is going to be a pretty annoying push. I see him coming in again, so watch me position my army. I know that this is going to be bad for me if I can't get that really nice positioning. I'm going to go ahead and try and flank him completely. Force fields to block his army in half, trying to make him sure he can't micro, and my zealots can actually hit him, because at the moment my zealots are going to be really, really important. I've got a Colossus out, and he's continuing to try and take out my units. I've got those cannons helping me from the high ground, and they're doing a fair bit of damage to help me out in defense. If I didn't have those cannons out, it wouldn't be happening. But now he's trying to focus down my Nexus, and that could be really scary if that happens. So reasons why I'm trying to make sure that I can really take out his army as fast as I can. This is so close. If he can snipe this down, it'll almost be game. It'll delay me even longer, and luckily I do manage to actually keep it alive, and I've got enough probes to fully saturate this instantaneously. This is a late third. This is not how you want to go about getting your third base. But this is a real situation that's happening. I've got my dual Robo going in. He hit at the perfect time, so I couldn't really take advantage of that. And I'm being forced to go pretty zealot heavy right now, just because my gas is low, because I just didn't have my third up. I needed 6 gases to really do what I want to do, which is Stalker, Sentry, Colossus. That's one of the most stable and staple, both of those with the B and the P type of army compositions that you can possibly have. So now I have to go ahead and also try and do other things to get in there. I can harass with DTs or get Archons if the DTs are scouted. I can go ahead and start going for hidden expos, get charge, and continue working it. And right now you can see how I'm scaring him back with the Colossus. I'm guessing he wasn't really prepared for them, didn't get what he needed to quite yet. And I'm going to go ahead and get charge for my Zealots. I also sent down a probe to the bottom right, or at least I'm doing so. Or yeah, there it is. You can see on the mini-map my probe is going down there. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and get out a hidden expo, because he is doing a good job keeping me back, and I need to get my economy back up. And my double Robo is going to give me a very strong ground force. I just need to get charge out, and then I'll be golden in terms of pushing. You see how I'm going very zealot heavy. It can be risky at times, but I'm going to go ahead and also get out this expansion. It's also working because I'm supply blocked at the moment, and that will give me some pylons and free up some supply that I can use. I'm also keeping my chrono boost very low, guys. Keep an eye on your chrono. That's a huge thing. See, every single my Nexus is being used to capacity at the moment. And it's really keeping me alive, because this is literally the max amount of units I can possibly have right now. And also, I found out during this game that, I sort of knew before, but you can't really warp in onto ramps. You have to warp in on that sort of flat-ish ground or the top of the ramp. You can see how it's kind of annoying while I'm clicking over there. But now this is my time to attack. You can see I'm not at max food, but if you're at 170 and you attack Zerg, they're not going to be at perfect 200 food, or if they are, they just got there and can't remax as easily as they would like to, which means this is a good time for Protoss to attack. Unfortunately, I'm hitting right before I have charge too. That's something I miscalculated. But still, you can see I'm moving forward. I have a lot of Colossus just wrecking those ground roaches, and I'm bringing in more Stalkers, and I'm going to go ahead and try and target down those Corruptors. But you can see that this Zealot army is doing really well, and unfortunately, is also doing this little tiny dropped in the main, but warp in some zealots in there and I'll be okay. So you can see, once again, he's reinforcing from that third, so I know that's there. I've got my base in the bottom right going, and I've got a good army composition. I just have to continue reinforcing, and you can see what I'm doing it with. I got some DTs and some sentries coming in, and that's really actually going to be helping my power. So unfortunately, I still have those links down there. And I'm also just completely miscontrolling everything. But there are some DTs. I'm going to go ahead and send them down to different expansions. And I've got this base up, so now I'm going to be pretty good with my economy. And I'm going to be able to get out some more, some things. So basically, now is my time to really be aggressive. And he calls GG, and that is the game. So pretty much, this is just recovering from a defended attack, but doing enough damage that it's going to be hard for him to be aggressive, taking advantage of him trying to go for a greedy attack, and just being able to warp in units directly on top of him so he can't actually kill that Nexus. It's a few positional things that were pretty key. My harassment beginning with that pylon and trying to warp in cells directly into his main base would be great on a larger map, but unfortunately Antigua Shipyard has a very close main and natural expansion, so that was something I tried to do. It didn't go that successfully, but I'm ending the game with 4 bases up. He's got around 3. Notice I really didn't send out observers and to scout, which is something that I could have done theoretically, and that would have been perfectly fine, but I pretty much didn't feel like there was that much of a particular need to. I felt perfectly confident in doing a simple push with upgrades. I should have had +2 attack by that time, I hope. Maybe even +3. I don't remember exactly what I was doing over there. I think I just was worried about my economy and didn't get out those upgrades. But still, think about the infrastructure I had. I'm sending DTs to the bottom left 2 bases, which are his natural moves to go ahead and expand to. I've got my base in the bottom right, and I can go ahead and keep that middle right base for the future. It's basically a protected base. It's being protected by the fact that I have a base in the bottom right, and I'm being aggressive, and I can have a very easy time expanding to that. Same thing goes true with the main base. Notice how by taking the natural, I basically secure that main. It's a kind of a tactical thing that was used a lot in Brood War. On Fighting Spirit especially is a really good example of that, because there's no ground entrance into that main base except for its natural expansion. By holding the natural, I have a free expo once again. Because in order to reach it, he's going to have to either go air or drops, in which case I can also counterattack. You can see how close our top right bases are to his top left. His top left is where his tech is. So if he's investing a ground army and taking out this bottom right base, I can counterattack, warp in 6 DTs, go directly into his main base with them, and start taking out all of his tech structures. And all of a sudden, I'll be down a base, he'll be down all of his tech. I can continue warping in and bringing out more Colossi, or even by that time maybe switch to Void Rays or something for the end game. Full upgrade, scout what he's going for, take out his ability to get Hive Tech, and I'll be in an incredible position. So that's pretty much the thought process behind these. But hopefully you just saw a little bit of how to play as Protoss with a nice frontal assault that if it doesn't work, and needs to come back and recover like I did in this game. And he was going for pretty much a very standard thing, just Roach Corruptor, upgrades, and expansions. So hopefully you like this video. I'm going to do another one with a 3-gate expand. This is because those are the 2 most popular PvC openers. I've already got a PvT 1-gate expand play, and hopefully that will interest you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you learned.